All right, welcome back. We are now back in general session. We are about to get into a Class 3 license hearing. Mr. Bullock, do you have any comments on this?
Everything looked fine. You know, the number of cars for sale out front, the other cars in the back, behind the fence. There was a chain link fence that Kevin was going to put up that was had fallen down, a small section. So that was it. Other than that, I'm fine with it. So.
And you're good with his recommendations,
Yes.
Kevin?
Yep.
If you can keep Mr. Bullock happy, then we're happy.
Wonderful.
Okay. Any questions from the gentleman?
Not for me.
No, please get the fence done. I think this has come up before, maybe different area of the fence or something, but we'd be appreciated. Thank you.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the Class 3 license?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Welcome back, Kevin.
Wonderful.
Yeah, there is another license, I believe, Class 1,
Class 2.
which is Class 2, sorry, which was not put on the agenda. So we will take care of that on the
17th.
I don't think that one needs a public hearing, though.
It doesn't.
It doesn't, but
Okay.
if it isn't on the agenda, we can't vote it.
Okay.
So
Right,
we
we'll
will vote it on the 17th, Kevin.
Okay.
But no, you don't have to be here.
Okay.
I mean, the 24th.
Yeah, I got it.
The next meeting.
You do have a problem with dates sometimes.
Okay.
Thanks very much, Kevin.
Thank you.
All right, have a good holiday. The,
Chris? Yep, okay. This is next on the agenda, Jim.
Chris Crosby?
From Eversource.
Welcome, come on up and join us.
Where was it?
Well, it'd be easier, just grab a chair. The microphone is for the folks on cable at home.
Okay. Good evening.
Welcome.
Thank you. My name's Christine Crosby. I'm with Eversource Energy, and we are requesting permission to install approximately 103 feet of conduit at existing manhole 27946. And the purpose of that installation would be to provide a new underground electric service to the new building that's under construction out there at 18 Union Street.
Chief Stone wanted me to let the board know that he's reviewed it and doesn't have any problems.
Okay. Any questions? No? I think this will be easy. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Sorry to drag you out at 5:30 in the afternoon, but
Okay.
thank you.
This is an early one.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Please consider appointing Ed Nolan to the Town Government Study Committee. Ed is our Emergency Management Director. Do I have that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Any discussion?
None from my end.
All in favor? Do I have a motion? Pardon me.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next item, and Dave, this is, we asked you to kind of hang with us on this one a little bit. We've had a disclosure from a member of one of our boards that he is involved in a business relationship. This concerns rental of garage space for storage of cars with an individual that may be before that board for several hearings in the future. He has made disclosures. We have seen those disclosures. And I've had a chance to talk about it with David. And Dave, maybe you can share what you think might be a reasonable proposal for this.
Well, I have reviewed it, and we've discussed the nature and extent of the connection, and there are two separate sections of the of the statute, 268A in play here, Section 19 and Section 23. And the prohibition is very simple. If you have a business relationship with any applicant that comes before your board, you are prohibited from participating in consideration of that matter. If you have a past relationship with an applicant that's before your board, there could be the appearance of a conflict which could be cured with a disclosure. So as I've said here, if there's a continuing relationship, I think that your member should be prohibited. It should recuse himself, herself, from participation. And what I mean by participation, that's in any deliberation or any debate or any vote in the matter. Just simply recuse him or herself. That's if the relationship is continuing, and the applicant will have to, satisfy him or herself with the remaining members of the board. The quorum will still hold. They'll still have to obtain a quorum vote with the absence of the member that's recused himself. On the other hand, if the relationship is in the past, then I think it's sufficient so long as there's a disclosure. There is no continuing conflict, and the potential conflict is cured by the disclosure as long as it's done in the proper form, and I think there's already been that disclosure. So that's where we're at today, and I don't know where the proceedings are at, and whether or not the applicant is actually got something before the board, where the board is with respect to that application. But if there's a continuing relationship, there should be a recusal. If it's a relationship in the past, then I think a disclosure is sufficient.
Comments for Dave?
When you say a relationship in the past, is there any kind of timetable or window that you're talking about?
There really isn't. The
Essentially
cases,
relationship?
the cases really don't define that. It's probably, again, on that reasonableness standard. I think there's no sense of it being months or years, as long as it's not continuing at the time of the application.
Now, when you say application, is that reference to if there has been a submission to have a hearing, but the hearing has not been held? Is there a distinction between those two events?
Well, I think the recusal must come prior to the commencement of the hearing. The application, could be received, and that's more of a ministerial function. But once a hearing is commenced, then there needs to be the recusal if the relationship is continuing.
Okay. So your recommendation is that if there is a continuing business relationship at the point in time in which a hearing is set forth, and there is a continued relationship between the applicant and the member, he or she must just recuse themselves from participating in that hearing? Yeah,
I think under Section 19, the financial relationship is clear, so there needs to be action taken then.
Okay. If that relationship is terminated, they must give a disclosure at the beginning of the hearing of that past business relationship, but then could continue to participate in
That's right. And of course, there could be a fact question about whether or not that relationship continues. I would expect the member to be able to satisfy your board and others concerned that in fact the relationship is terminated, and we should have some verification of that.
Okay. Questions?
Is it customary for there to be a filing if in fact the relationship is terminated, the same type of filing to disclose the relationship, that there's a filing saying that the relationship no longer?
Well, like I said, some indicia of evidence to verify that would be appropriate, whether it's a filing or some kind of memorandum or something that would be reliable evidence of the fact that there's no longer that continuing relationship.
And it's something that the Board of selectmen being the appointing body, that we can require.
Yes.
That there, if there is a change, that it be a proactive type of statement with the town clerk.
Yes.
In terms of, you know,
Kevin?
I think it makes sense to me.
Okay. I'm in agreement as well. I know the individual member of the board. I have faith in his judgment. I think it's an unfortunate connection, but we have to follow the rules on this.
Yep.
So we will, if we're in agreement, we will communicate to the applicant those rules, that if he still has a business relationship, he must recuse himself. If that is terminated prior to the hearing, he must disclose his prior business relationship and may participate in the hearing. And we will need proof of the termination of that business relationship. Is that agreed?
Agreed.
Okay.
Very good.
That's what we'll do.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, David.
All right. Good to see you guys.
As well.
We're seeing too much of you these days.
your bag's getting bigger and bigger. You're not
Okay.
gonna be able to carry it.
Yeah, I know.
Dave,
Thanks,
if you
guys.
call me, we can set up for next.
Yeah,
time.
We did pick a date, David, didn't we?
Oh, you did?
Yeah, because
we
we've got to get together with Matt.
But I'll call you anyway.
Okay, or email it to me,
Yeah.
that'd be great.
What was it, Dave? Do you remember? No, that's okay. We email it.
You wrote, you
I
said
wrote it
you
down
would
too,
remember.
yeah,
You said
thank
you
you.
would remember down here.
I
think
did
it
say
was-
I would remember. Obviously, I didn't
believe
live
it
up to
was-
that.
It was the 17th, was it?
It was a Monday,
It was a Monday, and it was the 14th.
14th.
Yeah, so I'll be coming back on the 14th.
The 14th?
Yep,
Okay, thank you.
And we're meeting at 9
yeah,
with Matt.
yeah.
Okay.
All right, guys.
If I don't see you, have a great holiday.
You too. Thanks.
Yeah, David,
Okay.
you and your
You
family.
guys.
Thank you.
Yes, bye-bye.
All right, we have, please consider the location of 2 glass display cases in preparation for the sesquicentennial. It's not such a hard word. They would be mounted on the wall on the ground floor flanking the existing display case which contains the weights and scales. There is a 46-inch space on either side of that display, and the new cases are 3 by 3 and 12-inch deep. Anyone have any thoughts, comments on that?
It sounds lovely.
Yeah,
What was that?
It sounds lovely.
looks nice in the photo.
It looked very nice next to the weights and scales. Yeah. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you, Kevin. All in favor?
I didn't second.
Oh,
Second.
we know Wild Child Service is getting after you here, so. All in favor?
Aye.
Did you say we were not going to do the Class 1 license to sell this? Okay, so
I'm gonna go
we're,
on to the 24th.
okay. Please consider the approving the Southeastern Regional Service Group DPW Services Award, 2119 to 13120. I think you have copies of all of that from Mr. McGee.
And all good with Bob.
Yeah. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Please consider confirming the appointment made by the Finance Director, Todd Lidmark, of Donald Clark as our new Chief Assessor. You've all had a chance to look at the information? Yes.
You missed one.
What did I miss?
Please consider appointing a member of the BOS.
I did miss that. My
as a
apologies.
liaison to the working
I'll go back
committee.
to it.
Okay.
Any comments?
No, none on my side.
Our role in this is really just to affirm the hiring.
Right.
Todd is the actual hiring body, so but he needs our affirmation of that hire. So do I
Right.
have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Please consider a request for the Norfolk Special Education Parent Advisory Council 5K race to be held on May 5th, 2019, from 8 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. CPAC would like to use the town hill from 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. for a meet and greet networking gathering. This race and the route have received approval from Lieutenant Shannon. This is always a great event, so. Motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And please, the one I missed, please consider appointing a member of the Board of Selectmen to the liaison to the Working Committee zoning bylaws. Do we have a volunteer?
I'll volunteer. I believe this is the committee that is going to be focused on the town center development and the zoning for that area.
You are correct.
I've been working pretty closely with the planning board on that thus far, so I wouldn't mind doing that.
I was hoping
Nobody
you
else would mind.
I was hoping you would.
Who are the members now for that committee?
We'd have to
We
ask
still have
Rich.
to,
I don't know. Rich would
I
know.
don't think they had been defined as of our last meeting, and we meet again tomorrow, so I'm sure we'll have some
yeah,
more.
because those are, what, 1-year appointments?
Well, we'll have at least one defined.
Yep.
All right, thank you for volunteering. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? I'll second
Aye.
those.
You have to second, because
I will
it's me, that's
second.
right.
You don't have to. You can second yourself. All right, terrific. The only other piece of information, if we have a few minutes, I know that I heard today that the Energy Committee wants to get going on the audit, which is great. We applaud it. But they have approached Matt, and they wanted to do it during the Christmas break, which, for the school's perspective, makes sense because they're not there. The problem is that Matt does not have the staff or the time at this particular point to devote to this, and because he's devoting all of his energies to the final 30 days of the police facility. And I think if you're in agreement, I suspect that they may contact each and every one of us to try and pursue this in a hurried fashion, but we got to get this. We're 30 days out on the police station, and that's where Matt's priority is right now. So just, if we're in agreement.
Yeah, can they do it like February vacation or something?
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking as well. If we're looking at end of
it would-
January
it would-
moving.
It would make sense, and it doesn't have to get done over Christmas. It don't, whereas the police station is a priority. So it just, if someone reaches out to each of us, we'll have a consistent answer to that, to defend Matt's position, because he asked if he could not have to do that at this particular point. So, we in
That's a
agreement?
reasonable request.
Okay, I thought so too. Just as a quick update, I was down at the police station this morning. We have a meeting tomorrow. It is really, it's looking like a police station. I mean, I sent some pictures out to you guys, but you should, if you get a chance, go down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, to see it in living color. And the part that was really enlightening to me was they have a good deal of the equipment in the dispatch center. And you can see it's all set up. You can see how, and it's really worth a visit. And you'll see the complexity of the system. But yeah, we're on the home stretch. Most of the painting is done. The lockers are all in. They are really, really on the home stretch here. So, and well, we'll know more tomorrow. But Mike is cautiously optimistic that we might have this all done by the end of January.
Great news.
Hopefully, it won't be under 3 feet of snow. Because we will have a grand opening, which we would love to have the public come to so they can see their new police station.
So is the discussions regarding the fire station being held off until that transition occurs, or?
No, we're going to start that actually tomorrow.
Oh, beautiful. Very good.
That is on the agenda for tomorrow. Talking about, we're debating, we have a better handle on the financials. We do have funding for the fire station. I think the debate is going to be, I know the debate is going to be whether or not renovating, there's an interesting point of view. There is a growing consensus that we're better off demolishing the main building, keeping the bays, and building a new 2-story building than we are trying to renovate the existing building. I am not a building engineer, so we'll have to rely on better knowledge than I bring to the table. But there seems to be a consensus that that is a more efficient and less expensive way to go at this. If we did that, then the training room could go on the 2nd floor, and we would not have to utilize one of the bays, or actually would be 2 of the bays, from the old part of the building. So I think we're going to ask that to be considered and get a reasonably quick recommendation back to us as to which is the most economical way and efficient way to go. That old building has asbestos. It has, unfortunately, the main walls that can't be moved are in the way of what we'd like to do. And it needs a brand new roof, needs a new HVAC system. It's a mess. And it may very well be that our best answer is to demolish. We did have a plan to do that originally, and we have a strategy on how to deal with that. For example, we'll house the equipment down at the DPW. We would move the police headquarters, the fire headquarters here into the town hall. At least this was what the strategy was at one time, but we did build out a fairly detailed strategy that if we were to vacate the building, how would we handle that for a period of 6 to 8 months? And we did take the time to develop that. It'll need to be fine-tuned and reflected on based on what we know now, but we do have options to make that work. DPW is reasonably centrally located, as we all know, and there's plenty of room in that garage. Now, that does mean our equipment will have to go out, but in the wintertime, it's out most of the time anyway.
Right.
So, we can survive it if that's what we feel is the most efficient way. But your answer, we started.
Great to hear.
Yep, shake and bake. Anything new with you? Kevin, anything new on your source?
Nothing on our end.
Sue?
Can we approve the minutes of December 5th, please?
We can. Mr. Clerk?
I move to accept the minutes of December 5th, 2018.
Do I have a second?
I wasn't at that. Is that the meeting I missed, or was I at that meeting?
Well, I'll second. I was there, I know. I'll second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. If you want to abstain, that's fine.
I'll abstain. I missed a meeting recently. I'm not sure if that.
Okay. Do we have any other business? Is that it?
That's it.
Okay, we will be having another meeting. So much for one meeting in the month of December. 24th.
Yep.
December 24th, and that will be at 12 noon. The main purpose of that meeting, well, now it will include a license hearing, or 2 license hearings.
Not hearings, just approval.
Excuse me, 2 license approvals. But the main purpose will be to provide certification for the Mass Building Department so that we can move forward with the H. Olive Day roof repairs, which has a deadline that requires our signatures. So, should not be a long meeting, but I thought that would be the case tonight, too, so, sorry. All right, do we have a motion to
Adjourn.
adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, and if, well, we'll see you on the 24th, but if not, hope everybody has a wonderfully joyful, peaceful, and safe holiday.